Hello friends, welcome to week 5 of my NFL predictions series. Last week did not go very well. I had 9 right out of 15. Not great. There were a lot of accumulator breakers in there though. So, some banana skins we just couldn't avoid. Let's not stall for time. Let's go week 5. Week 5 starts with Thursday Night Football. The Buccaneers at the Bears. Both teams going in at 3-1. The Bears started Nick Foles for the first time. He was pretty non-distinct last week. 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Nothing to write home about. Better than Trubisky? Don't know. Jury's out yet. Buccaneers, Tom Brady, 5 touchdowns. You can't really argue with that. That's Tom Brady in peak Tom Brady form. Don't know if he'll keep it up. Hard to tell. Short weeks, so, those aching bones. But, 2 ways this game can go. I could see it being quite a scrappy defensive affair. I could also see the Bucs pulling away quite early and not really relinquishing it, and I think the latter is probably slightly more likely. So I've got the Bucs by 14. Sunday, starting with the Bills against the Titans. Both teams unbeaten. I'd like to start a regular feature here. So welcome to Josh Watch! Josh Watch! Josh Watch! It's Josh Watch. That might be a bit overdone. My good buddy Mr. Allen went for 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, and a shade under 300 yards. Pretty solid stat line. Picked up a shoulder injury just before halftime. Didn't miss any plays. And it's apparently not hampering him much in training, so he should be pretty much okay. That's it for this week's Josh Watch! Josh Watch! Josh Watch! It's Josh Watch. Might need to rethink that. This could be the first real test for the Bills offense this year, to be honest. I reckon they'll probably have too much for the Titans, but it's probably going to be quite tight. Hoping the Titans aren't missing too many starters, because this could be a really good game. After their COVID breakout last week, they could be missing a good few players still. Hope not. Hoping for a good game, and I'm going to predict Bills by 8. The Jags up next against the Texans. Texans news, Bill O'Brien, gonzo. Huge news. Don't think it'll be enough to save their season. Interim head coach Romeo Crennel. He was Browns head coach between 05 and 08 and went 24-40. So, hoping to improve on that record, presumably. The Jags, they had a really good first week. They've not been great since. And I think the Texans, despite also not being great themselves, I think they're going to have enough to get through this and get a win on the board. Texans by 7. Next up, the Cincy Bengals against the Baltimore Ravens. Joe Burrow has his first victory and three consecutive 300-yard games. Not bad. I'm starting to get there with him. Kind of thought, first 2 games I'm not seeing too much. I'm seeing 61 pass attempts in 1 game. It's not a bad showing though. The last couple of games, he's throwing touchdowns and not too many interceptions. I think he's 6-2 for the season. It's pretty good. Don't think there's going to be much joy for him here. He will throw the ball another 50 or 60 times because the Ravens will be ahead. It's unavoidable, let's be honest. The Ravens are too good for the Bengals at this stage. And the Bengals will be playing from behind. The Ravens, like I say, too good, have to be favourites. I think it's going to be quite ugly. Ravens by 21. Next up, the Panthers at 2-2 taking on the Falcons, still to find their first win. As predicted last week, the Falcons didn't manage to go back-to-back on the bottle smashing front, but they never actually had a lead to throw away, so, They might manage to get a lead here. I'm sad to say, though, I don't think they're going to win the game. I think the Panthers have too much talent, even missing McCaffrey. And the Falcons are going to go 0-5, which is just mind-boggling to me. But Panthers to win by 3. The Raiders up against the Chiefs next. Kansas City did not look particularly fluent at any point against the Pats last week. Ground out the victory, mostly thanks to Brian Hoyer, to be honest. He was pretty garbage. If the Pats had Newton, I think they probably would have taken that game. And that's got to be worrying as a Chiefs fan. But, they're 4-0. It's a really good start to the season, obviously. They kind of go a good game, a bad game, a good game, a bad game. So they're on for a good game. And the Raiders have been better than expected, in my opinion. But they're not going to trouble the Chiefs. Chiefs by 16. Get centered. Next up, the Cardinals against the Jets. Now, the Jets may actually have a player. Le'Veon Bell potentially back from his hamstring injury. They're not quite sure yet, but he's trending well. However, with the good comes the bad. Mekhi Becton might be missing this one. I think no matter who plays for the Jets, they're awful. They're turgid. They're terrible. There are many other negative adjectives. The Cardinals are having a bit of a topsy-turvy season. Couple of wins, couple of losses. I think it's back to winning ways for them this week, surely. Cardinals by 12. The Steelers hosting the Eagles next in, what should be considered a pretty unfair matchup. Steelers straight off a rest week, thanks to COVID. The Eagles grinding out a result somehow against the 49ers. So, logic dictates pretty sharp reversal in fortune for the Eagles and a pretty heavy Steelers win. Steelers by 14. Closing out the early features on Sunday are the Rams and the Washington football team. Washington are back to expected form on a 3-game losing streak after an unbelievable win in week 1 against a team equally as tragic as they are. And honestly, I really don't see a way that the Rams don't make it a 4-game losing streak for them. So, the Rams are themselves having a pretty strange up and down season. They're barely getting past bottom feeder teams. I think it's fair to say. But, they put in a really good game against the Bills and came up just short. So, if they could piece that together and put in a really good performance against a lower team, they'll get a huge win. I don't know if they do it here. It is another win for them. Probably not a massive one. I've got Rams by 10. We'll see how that goes. Sunday evening sees my Dolphins travelling way too far, the entire breadth of the country, to face the Niners. I have put Jordan Howard in my fantasy lineup this week. That's how desperate I am for running backs. That and I'm an absolute lunatic. As such, Dolphins by 35. No. Really, we don't know what version of the 49ers we're going to get. That's part of the issue in actually predicting this match. If we get the good 49ers, they could get ugly. If we don't, Dolphins have a chance. We actually really do have a chance to beat the 49ers. Never thought I would say that at the start of the season. But, the predicament we're in. The 49ers are still missing a massive number of players. They're getting a few back. It looks like they might have Raheem Mostert. They've definitely got George Kittle back. They're good players. But we still don't know which version of the Niners we're going to get. They lost to the Eagles last week. I don't know what else you can say. My heart, like I say, tell me the Dolphins have a chance. My head says Niners by 8. I kind of want to change that, but I'm not going to. We have the Giants still looking for their first win, and the Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys are a strange beast this year. Until last season, no quarterback had gone 450 passing yards in back-to-back games. Jameis Winston did it very late last year. Dak has some fire in his belly this year, apparently, and he's done it 3 games in a row. 450, 472, and 502 in the last 3 games. Absolutely incredible. Can't keep up. He absolutely cannot keep that pace up. He'll wear his arm out before the end of the year. I think the Giants actually provide a nice opportunity for the Cowboys to get an early lead and Dak to take it easy. So, that in mind, Cowboys by 17. Heading up to the northeast next, where the 1-3 Broncos will take on the 2-2 Patriots. Now, it's a game that I actually don't think will go ahead. I reckon we're going to find this game postponed till later in the season. The Patriots have had Stephen Gilmore test positive for COVID, and I think that puts a really big question mark on last week's decision to play the Chiefs game. What's done is done, but, you know, how many more tests are we... how many more positives are we going to find within the Patriots and the Chiefs squads because that game went ahead? I don't know. I'm hoping none. There's no word on Cam Newton's availability yet. He's going to have 2 negative COVID tests before he can rejoin the team. If this game goes ahead, both teams will be missing pieces. And, you know, that in mind, I can't expect it to be a classic. I'm going to go Pats by 4. Scraping it out. Closing out the evening games, we have the Colts and the Browns. Probably the toughest game to predict this week, I would say. Both teams 3-1. The Browns made scoring look very easy against the Cowboys. Yeah, good. OBJ back on form. They put 49 points up. The Colts have not been scoring at the same tick, but the Browns are very inconsistent. So, my prediction this week is we get the good Browns again. And I think it's more likely than not. They'll put 2 games back to back. As such, I've got the Browns by 8. Sunday night's game, we have the Vikings and the Seahawks. Vikings got on the board against the Texans at the expense of Bill O'Brien's job. I can't see them making it a winning streak. Russ did not have the game I thought he was going to against the Dolphins last week. I don't know how much of that was on us and how much was on him. Did enough to see his team through, though. I'm hoping anyway for a big return to 5 touchdown form for Russ. My fantasy team needs it, let's be honest, with the running backs I'm playing this week. But I see a pretty big Seattle victory, all things considered. I've got Seahawks by 19. Last but not least, we have Monday night's game. The Chargers and the Saints. Saints should have Mike Thomas back in the fold. And thanks to that, I'm expecting a fairly high scoring affair, because I think Herbert and the Bolts will be chasing the game from pretty early on. Chargers have been wildly inconsistent, as have a lot of teams actually, but, you know, the Chargers in particular. I'm predicting they won't do to the Saints this week what they did to the Chiefs earlier in the year, so, that in mind, Saints by 13. That's going to do it for Week 5's predictions video. As ever, I hope you feel gracious enough to hit the like button underneath. Share it with anyone you think might enjoy it. Even if you're not sure, just, fire them the video. At least they'll watch it. If they don't like it, they don't like it. What's 5 minutes of their time? and subscribe to the channel for more eclectic entertainment. I am going to leave you this time. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to leave you with a poll that I found on the Fantasy NFL website that I think sums up this season perfectly. Incidentally, the answer is sweet baby Jesus no. Until next time though, bye for now.